All right, let's talk about what's going on with the energies. Let's see who comes on with me. All right, so I just wanted to come on here because I wanted to tell you what I'm going through, energetically speaking, and what I've noticed other people have been having issues with. There's a lot of things going on in the world, and it seems to be affecting all of us in a different manner. But I would say the most that is highlighted is the injustices that are happening to a lot of people. And particularly, I've been feeling that a lot of the people who are here of service have been mistreated. Whether you're serving for protection of others, justice system, or you're a nurse in the medical field, trying to help people who are sick, or if you are someone who's trying to just assist people, that it just feels like there's a lot of hi guys. There's feels like there's a lot of things that you guys are going through energetically that are making you think twice as about the projection of your career path, right? So today, well, not today, but a few days ago, um, there was an incident that happened in the work field of that we have here that is like so let's put it this way, so it's actually in the news out here where a police officer pulled somebody over. That person decided to run, meaning drive away. The police officer then pursued the person. The person crashed into a parked car and two other people that were actually in their vehicles. The police officer decided to go check on the person because that just tells you how their character is, that they were so like, oh my God, are they injured? They got out of the vehicle, walked towards the car, and the guy jumped out of his vehicle and started just firing on the police officer. So there's actual evidence and video of this, that the guy he just got out of his vehicle and started firing at the police officer, hitting him, striking him 3 times. Police officer fell. Two other officers fired back, and the guy ran. And I guess the guy ran because he was injured, of course. And then, of course, up the street or somewhere not that far from there, he collapsed because he died. So the neighbors have recordings of all this going down. They were like, I don't understand why he even shot at the police officer. I don't understand what's going on. This guy shouldn't have never done that. So there's a lot of eyewitnesses that the guy is the one that fired first. There's nobody knows why the police officer pulled him over to begin with, because he's still recovering from his injuries. He's in critical condition. So anyway, this was kind of like, in so many ways, the stress factor and also what is happening in our society regarding these shootings or crazy people with mental health illnesses not getting checked when they're supposed to. This person had evidence of doing the same thing before, of having illegal weapons in his vehicle and running from the police. He's been in and out of jail. The justice system didn't do him any justice at all because obviously he didn't get help, right? He didn't get help. Obviously, there is actual mental illness. If you're going to continue to do the same thing over and over again, there's something wrong with you in here, okay? Mentally speaking, okay? You obviously need help, especially if you were in custody and then they released you for the same thing 3 times or something like that. But you did finally go into prison, and then you finally got out of prison in 2020 and did the same fucking thing. And now you killed somebody, you try to kill somebody, right? So obviously mental health was the issue, okay? And the justice system, whoever put him in prison, didn't do him any good, because he didn't get any programs about counseling or behavior modification or even get like assistance in that, and so he obviously committed the same crime again, so with horrible results, right? So anyway, I feel like there's a lot going on in the mental health area where we are not helping people who need the help. I feel there's a lot of going on in the medical area where medical people are either not helping, or they are turning the other way, or they are trying to fight back against a tyrannical system but are getting fired for it, right? The same thing with police officers, the same thing with fire, same thing with paramedics, the same thing with anybody who works to help people, okay? Um, One thing that got brought up to my attention today in particular is how horrible it is that a lot of the medical people are being treated because they refuse to take something that they know for a fact is to them might cause injury, okay? And that is the new vaccines. So a lot of medical people refuse to take them, and a lot of them are being fired because of it, or being threatened that they're going to get fired because of it. I feel like at this point, because of this energy that we're moving into, I think we have a Jupiter in Aquarius energy too. There, and mixed in with Uranus retrograde in Taurus, and then we have Virgo season as well, and other aspects that are happening out there. There's going to be retaliation in a way that we're going to see it in a larger scale, especially because in September I was given information through my guides that they're going to try to do the lockdowns once more. Okay, that they're going to try to force vaccinations on people. It's either you choose to take the vaccine, or you choose your job and the vaccine, or you fucking don't have a fucking job. And that's the same thing that happened with me, where I had to choose between getting a booster shot or whatever, because everybody had to take the vaccine if you're going to be an educator. And I was like, fuck no. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And so a lot of people are in that situation right now. A lot of nurses are in that situation right now. A lot of medical people are in that situation where they have to choose between their livelihood or a vaccine. And that's shitty. So that's what we are seeing. This energy is coming in regarding this crossroads energy, like I said before, where you have to make the choices for your own safety, for your own health, for your own peace of mind, where a job is not that important, you guys, okay? Your mental health is more important than that. Your physical health is more important than that. What I recommend to anybody who is going through this situation is, if you have a union and they refuse to represent you or fight for you, for the company that you're working for, especially medical, fucking quit. Quit the union. Quit giving them your dues. Quit. If there are multiple people who feel the same way as you, say there's like 300 people at work that refuse the vaccine and have submitted documentation as to why, such as religious preferences, religious exemptions, and they have been refused by the company, and your union isn't fighting for that, for your rights, then fucking quit the union, okay? And get together. You know, the more that we start to communicate and commune with one another, the more that we start to get together, and that's what this Aquarius energy is getting together, socializing, working with other people to create a change, okay? And that's what it is. That's what this Uranus energy is. That's what this Aquarius energy is. That's what this Virgo energy is. That's what this Jupiter in Aquarius is. Even that reading that I gave you guys earlier this week on Tuesday, that fire energy is transmutative energies, transformative energies, about taking action and fighting for your rights, okay? Whether it is, if you have to quit a union, then do it. Whether you have to rally people together, to even put your money together to hire a lawyer for wrongful termination because they won't accept religious exemption, because they don't want to accept that you believe in a different way. That is religious, In so many ways, they are violating your religious freedom. They're also violating your rights to choose. Okay? And so just get together. Get together, hire a lawyer who is a constitutional lawyer who's going to have your back. Okay? And hire them. Come together with a group of people who feels the same way, who got wrongfully terminated, and sue the fucking companies. They're not going to stop until we do something to hurt them. And like more or less their reputation is going to be the biggest thing that you can hurt, is that company's reputation. Because nobody wants to work for a company who doesn't protect you, who forces you to do things that you don't want to do. Okay? So hurt their reputation. Fucking talk about it in public. Fucking tell the news what your company is doing. Slip them some emails that you got from the company telling you you're going to be forced to get a vaccine or else you're going to be fired. Okay? Do what you have to do. All right? Do what you have to do. I just feel this is the energy that is necessary for this change to happen, for us to fight back somehow. Okay? If you don't feel safe with being treated in that way, then fight back in that manner. Okay? Or support those who are fighting for your rights. Okay? Like for example, if you got fired because you refused to take that vaccine, then if you don't want to do anything legally speaking, maybe you don't want to fight against the company, then support those who will. Okay? Share their videos. Go out there and protest with them. Donate to their cause, because lawyer fees are expensive. Okay? Especially when it comes to these lawsuits. This company could drag it on. Okay? The person that has more money is the one that can drag it on. But usually they'll settle. They'll settle only when their fucking shit is being broadcast to the public and their name is being fucking dragged in the mud. Then that's when they'll fucking do something about that. That's when they'll change their policies. That's when they will stop fucking with their fucking, people who are working with them. Okay? Let's see. I'm gonna read the comments. Sorry, I was just like a lot of shit that I wanted to talk to you guys about. J-Lo is going on everywhere. Yeah. Hi, Denise. Yeah, J-Lo. I agree. Hi, Aquarian Essence. Denise says, my husband's job told him get the vaccine or he has no job. I told him to quit, but he went and got the shot. Oh. Aquarian Essence says they're paying people here to get it at the pharmacies. I bet the Jehovah's Witnesses aren't buying into it. Yeah. Oh, and so the reason why some companies won't accept religious exemptions is because they're like, I had this client today that I was talking to because she's a medical professional, and she was talking that they gave them those options to submit a religious exemption letter regarding the vaccine at her work. And she submitted it, right? I think she said that 7,000 people did the same thing. And so I guess their union was pissed that 7,000 people refused to take the vaccine. And so their union doesn't have their back anymore. And they told them, if you don't take the vaccine by, I think they said September, and they extended it to December 1st because, of course, they have to look for new nurses to replace them, right? So they don't take the vaccine by then they won't have a job. And this is the union that's supposed to have their back and fight for them, right? Fight for their rights against the fucking tyrannical billion-dollar medical industry that they work for. So anyway, she was talking about that, and she was already talking about possibly getting a lawyer and things like that. And I told her, you need to do it, because if you're already talking about this thing, that means it's going to manifest. That means that you are one of many who are going to be pioneering this push back in the medical system about for not forcing people and having the right to choose. Okay, because these medical tyrants, these billion-dollar companies, are not going to stop forcing you until they're going to start to refuse services to you. Okay, and they're already starting to refuse services to unvaccinated people. Okay, and it's just like they're not going to stop until people are going to be forced to take a vaccine that they don't believe in. So the more that we rally together, the more that we push back and fucking smear their names and fucking put this into the limelight so if everybody could fucking know how these people run things, then that's when things are going to change. Oh, and then the medical about the religious exemption, they wouldn't accept anybody who was not a Muslim or a Jehovah's Witness. That only those two religions are medically exempt. How you can fucking, I can't believe that shit. I was like, who is to say Christians aren't exempt, or who is to say people who don't have a religion aren't exempt? It's a personal choice, like who's to say Buddhists can't be exempt? Who's to say, whatever religion you believe in shouldn't be exempt too? It's so fucking this discrimination, straight out discrimination. And so I don't know how people get away with that. Like, I don't know how companies get away with that when they're not supposed to be discriminatory, or they're not supposed to have discriminatory practices against their people who they, work for them. Like, that's horrible. And then wrongful termination too, because you refuse to take a vaccine. Are you serious? Not a lot of people in the medical field take the flu shot all the time. I never took the flu shot when I worked medical. I wasn't fired for it. That's fucking crazy. Korean Essence says some religions won't take a lot of modern medicine. Amish, Quakers, Mennonites, Jehovah, Episcopal, Lutherans, etc. Yeah, exactly. J-Lo says they fired my niece because when the pandemic was going on, she was afraid to go back to work. She had a 1-year-old baby at home, so she refused a shift and they fired her. Yeah, that's wrongful termination in my opinion. Kayla said I would have been kicked out from my home and my family would hate me if I didn't get the vaccine, and I regret it now. J-Lo said I would have taken 7,000 nurses and quit right there and put them on blast. Yeah, I know. And that's the thing, is that it has to be a strategy with these companies. You have to strategize with them. You have to, in so many ways, you have to fight fire with them, right? Where you have to be smarter than them, and just have hire lawyers that will be able to fight back. Okay, and I feel like people, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be fired because of this. And then companies that are billion-dollar companies are going to be wondering, well, I don't have enough people to work for me. Well, I wonder fucking why, because you have these fucking draconian ass fucking policies that you're not giving them the right to do what they want with their body. Whatever happened with that movement? My body, my choice. That should be applicable for this too. Your body, your choice, whether you take it or not. And so it's kind of like it's I feel like this is one of the beginnings to the end when it comes to these big billion-dollar companies trying to fucking bully us into submission, fucking trying to bully us into thinking that their company is the only way to make money or the only way to survive in this country, when we have other methods, other choices. So I think this is definitely a revolution. in so many ways of the way that we think about when it comes to how we make money, how we create our reality here. So this is definitely a beginning of the end of that mentality too, where we don't have to rely on these corporations to make money. And I also feel like this is definitely in a very Aquarian energy when it comes to that, right? Where we could work together, exchanging goods and things like that, like how it used to be, right? And I think that people don't get that it's possible to do that. I mean, other countries do that at this time, where other societies, like when you go to Mexico, for example, we have like the farmers, for example, like they exchange, I'll give you 2 hens for that goat, or what I mean, like, or for bread, or things like that. They still do that. Exchange for goods instead of money. And so we can start doing that. That'll teach them. Denise Cole says media is blaming the unvaccinated for the rise in cases. I guess so tired of seeing the dang plea videos asking everyone to get vaccinated. They even have actors and musicians, etc. And what makes us think that they actually are getting the real vaccine, and it's not just a placebo that they're receiving, because they're millionaires and billionaires? What makes us think that they're not? They're actually getting the real vaccine, right? Kayla, maybe that kicked up over to hear the end of it. It's your choice. It should be your body and your choice, honestly. Yeah. So it's definitely a revolutionary energy coming in. And because we're in Virgo season, it's all about really seeing the shit that's happening, and really pondering as to what actions are you going to take, right? What are you going to reap? What have you planted prior to Virgo season, and what are you going to reap? Okay, what you reap, what you sow, right? And so if you've wanted to assist in pushing back against this form of tyranny, then put your money where your mouth is, right? So I am just here to give you guys options, okay? You have options. If your job ever tells you your vaccine or your job, then tell them, first of all, let them fucking fire you, okay? Let them fire you. Do not sign anything. If they make you sign something, do not sign it. Take it to a lawyer. Let them go over it with you so you understand what your rights are, what you're giving up. Because usually when they make you sign a paper, it's that they want you to give up your right to sue them for wrongful termination and your right to receive unemployment by them. Okay? Don't fucking sign anything. Okay? Don't fucking do it. And again, please just go to an attorney for advice regarding what they're making you sign, okay? And then after that, if you do get terminated because you're refusing to sign, or you're refusing to comply with what they want, which is the vaccine, and stuff like that, then go again to your lawyer and say, I want to fucking sue for wrongful termination and for discrimination, okay? And throw in, if you're a minority, throw in the racism too, because as minorities, we are brought up in a different manner. In Mexico, especially, I was brought up not to take medication right away if I was in pain. I was brought up not to go to a doctor right away because of a cough. I was brought up to make my own remedies, to go out to the garden and pick some, herbs and make my own remedies for healing. Okay. And that's my religion. That's my belief system. Right. And I believe that that's the reason why I didn't get any COVID symptoms, because I was proactive with my health. And you could even say that. You could even say, yeah, because of my culture, they're discriminating against my cultural beliefs, against my, race, the way I was brought up. Because it's true, they are. Let's see. Just reading you guys. JLo says, I have seen a friend post about a couple who refused to get the vax and died leaving some children behind. I wanted to call him a dumb. They are portraying it, but I behaved. Aquarian SS says, I wonder how long until someone snaps and go post those again. JLo says, take pictures of all the papers. Yeah, print them out if you need to. Print them out. Evidence. Print it out. Take screenshots. Okay, if you have the ability to take a screenshot. I think not Google, but like when you go on the computer, or maybe put it on your phone and take a screenshot of what you are given via email, or if it's a physical paper, make a copy of it, or take a picture of it with your phone. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and take all these documents to an attorney. Okay. You can afford an attorney. A lot of people, that's one of the things that holds them back, is because, oh, I can't afford it. I can't afford my legal fees. You can. You know why? Because you could write it in your documents exactly what you want from the company, and that is to fully pay for your legal fees. You could do that. You could do that. All right. You can afford an attorney. All right. If I could afford an attorney for my, I got full custody of my kid like years ago. If I could afford one, you can afford one. All right. They have ways to helping you out and how to pay your legal fees too, through the courts. If you are under a certain bracket, okay, income bracket. But I would just write it in there. I want the people that I'm suing to pay for my legal fees. Or you can afford a lawyer. If that's what's stopping you, don't let it stop you, okay? Yeah, J-Lo, yeah, sue their butts out for it. Exactly. I think the more that people start doing this, the more they start fighting for their rights, the better. I know there's a lot of people who, don't want to have all the hassle of fighting back, or all the dragged on, things and whatnot that comes with it. But I think what we fail to really see is the bigger picture here. And that's where the Aquarius energy comes in. You're not just fighting for yourself. You're fighting for future generations. You're fighting for the rights for people to choose what they put in their bodies. You're making the government see that they don't have control, okay? And they shouldn't have control over us in that manner. You're fighting for the rights of any other nurse, any other firefighter, any other EMT, any other whatever your career is that's coming in to that same company. You're fighting for them because you're rewriting policy through this lawsuit. Okay, and you could add that into the lawsuit as to them rewriting their policies, and not forcing anyone to do any of that stuff unless it's not their right to do that. That's what you're doing. Okay. And the same thing for the school system. If you have children who the school is telling you they can't come to school because they're not vaccinated, fucking sue the fucking school system. They're another billion-dollar company. Believe it or not, they are. They work for us. Our tax dollars pays for those motherfuckers. Okay? And if they're refusing to have your kid in the school because they're not vaccinated, fucking sue the shit out of them. Fucking sue them. All right? Like me, like this girl that quit at the same time I did. I told her, hey, whenever you want to get together and push this issue with forcing people to get vaccinated just to work there, then hit me up, because I have plans and I have ideas and I know who to talk to for that. And so I feel like this is definitely up to us. It's up to the little people here. It's up to us to fight back, because we're the ones that are being directly affected by it. J-Lo says, I told my girls when school starts, if they mess with you, let me know. If you need to walk out, I will be there. Mag says, I feel as if everyone I know who got the vaccine got it out of fear, not want. Yeah, exactly. J-Lo says, I will sit with them and call every news channel there is to get voice for them. Mag says, as for spit tests versus a swab, they get to spit in a tube versus being swabbed. They have that available here in California public schools. And don't let them test your child while you aren't present. That's true. They're not supposed to do that legally speaking, because they're minors. They have to have the approval of their parent in writing or in person. So if they're doing that to your kid and you don't know about it and you find out, fucking make some fucking noise about it. Because the more that we let them get away with this shit, the more they're gonna fucking do it. Okay. Walter Kreco, well, yeah, of course, we're not talking about the likelihood of death here. We're talking about the rights that we have to having someone choose for us, or us making a choice here. Okay, we have rights to choose whether or not we want to take it or not. And companies that tell you choose to take the vaccine or you get fired, that's violation of your rights there. And also for people who are religious, they're violating their rights too, because they're not letting them be religious exemptions regarding this vaccine. They're just telling them, go fuck yourself and you're going to get fired anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of violations here. Denise says, my kids are doing virtual school. System hired out the same online school. Kids get no Spanish library. My oldest, no orchestra this year or PE. Said if we want to, then they need to go to school in person. I think there's other companies beyond the school districts that actually do school for kids. I don't know the names out there in different states, but I know some out here where they actually have, like homeschooling for kids, and they actually do activities for kids. And these are kids that usually have immunocompromised, or they have disabilities that they can't really be around too many people. And yeah, they get what they need from their online classes. And they do have music and all these things too. So you got to just look for it. It is a violation of constitutional law, especially if you're being forced to do something that you don't want to do based on your belief system. You're violating their religious beliefs. Mag says, I'm still not sending my child, but when I went to give it a try, they signed for me to consent form, the consent form. I had to ask for a printed form of what the nurses signed for me. Oh my God. See, that's another violation that they're signing your kid's rights without your consent. That's like telling you, okay, even if it wasn't the vaccine, right? Oh, I'm going to give your kid this medication, not knowing his medical history either, not knowing if he's allergic to it, because he is exhibiting this or that without telling you, right? That's fucked up. That's like them being able to do whatever the fuck they want to your kid. You know, being able to give him medication even though they don't even know if he's allergic to him. Walter, you don't have a choice in the military. They really don't give you that option usually, especially because you get pressured by your higher ups, or if you get a direct order that you need to take it, then you're fucking shit out of luck. There's a lot of shit that I was forced to take in the military, especially experimental medication, such as the one that was for the human papillomavirus. This was an experimental vaccine back when I was in, and they forced all of us women to take it, not knowing how we were going to react to it because we're fucking guinea pigs, right? The military, that's what we are. We're guinea pigs. And a lot of people had really fucked up reactions to it. A lot of people actually grew cysts down there when it was supposed to prevent that, right? And then they revamped the formula because they found out all this shit, right? And they still forced other people to take it too. So yeah, military, you don't really have a choice. But as a civilian, at least you do. And at least you know that you don't have to do something if you don't feel like you need to do it or you don't feel like you need it. There's a lot of people who had COVID who were like, okay, I already got COVID. Why do I need the vaccine? Right? Because supposedly the vaccine is supposed to like ramp up your immune system in order for you to fight COVID. Right? That's what the vaccine does, right? It's supposed to fight COVID in case you get it. It's not really supposed to protect you from it. So it's kind of like, I don't think people understand that. I think people think, oh, as soon as you get the vaccine, you're protected. No, you're not. There's a lot of cases where people who got the vaccine got COVID again or got COVID for the first time soon after, okay? And it's not supposed to, it doesn't have COVID in it. It's just an exhibitor that it wraps up your immune system to fight or to prepare to fight COVID. And so it's kind of like, well, if people don't want to take it, why do they have to take it if they already got COVID too? It's kind of like, okay. And people with the vaccine got COVID too. Like my sister works, she had like this incident where, because she works at a hospital, there's this guy flipping shit because he said he took the vaccine, like both of them, and he came out with a positive COVID test, and he was pissed and he was flipping shit like, what the fuck? You know, like, how could I get COVID if I took the vaccine? And she explained it to him. It's like, you still can take, you can still get it. Yeah, I know, Walter. It's not really a choice. Yeah, Mags. Yeah, your own body's supposed to, right? But the vaccine is supposed to make it ramp up, supposedly, according to the science behind it, I guess. But anyways, it's kind of like, then why are they pushing it so hard? Why are they pushing something so hard if people are still going to get it anyway? It doesn't make sense to me. Denny says, the doctor frowned at me when I took kids for their annuals and say no thank you to the flu shot. That's media. They are filling these people's heads with you're good once you get the shot. No, you're not. You are not good once you get the shot because, again, there's evidence to dictate that contradicts that. People in hospitals that took the shot are in hospitals for COVID, like getting their, they got the symptoms again and they went to go get checked and they sure as hell got it. So it's weird. It's just like you're fucking forcing people to take a vaccine that doesn't even work, obviously, because other people are getting it when they already got vaccinated, and that's why I'm saying fight for your rights, you guys, because if you don't believe that shit works, then it obviously there's evidence to prove you're correct. And if you don't think that you need it, then there's evidence to prove that you really don't, obviously. I don't know why they're pushing it so hard though. Like, I would say that a high percentage of the population already got the fucking COVID. It already ran through us. Some of us got more sick than others, if you're to believe what's coming out of, I think it was Japan or China, I forgot what it was, where there's this research that says that people who have ORH, positive, negative, whatever, but it's O type blood type, either O negative or O positive, are more likely to not have the COVID symptoms. Doesn't mean that they don't get COVID. It just doesn't show up as severely as other people without that blood type. So who knows? There's a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. Aquarian Essence says, did you hear about Australia? They are under martial law. They can't leave their home. Soldiers on every street. They can't go or talk to their neighbors. They can't buy food without the shot. What the fuck? Are you serious? No, I only heard that they were some, I guess, some government officials, or the government was going around suing the media that was not specifically the mass media that they picked. So it was like people who were news, like writing news articles, or kind of like individual or independent media were being sued. That's the only thing that I heard, but I didn't know they were under martial law. JLo says yes, because no one got the flu in 2021. Everybody got the flu. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, COVID symptoms are flu-like symptoms, right? What does it say it wasn't COVID or actually the flu? It's ridiculous. That's crazy. Korean Essence says, my business partner lives in Australia and she's been freaking out. They can't take their phones out. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's fucked up. There's something going on with that. It doesn't make sense to me as to why they're forcing something that doesn't even work. So that's what's like, a lot of people believe that, a lot of people have seen that people, I mean, even nurses, for God's sakes, that's why they're not taking it, because they've seen it firsthand that shit doesn't work, because they've seen patients in their hospitals that have records that they took the vaccine and they got COVID. They come in to get checked for COVID and they got COVID anyway. They're fucking working right there. They're giving us the proof. Oh, shit, yeah. That's horrible, Aquarian Essence. Hopefully they stop that shit. That's stupid. Why would they do that? Christy says that her friend lives where they're building that quarantine camp in Australia. Ooh, fuck. Damn. Dude. The Australians, they should know better. They come from a background of rebels and criminals. They should be fucking breaking people's necks by now. They should be fighting back. Let's see, Aquarian Essence says, last month 300 people died and 14 suicides in one county in Australia. Holy shit. From the shot. Yeah. I think they have a different process. Like, I don't think I know the main companies here in the United States are not the main companies anywhere else, like I think they have a different companies for different countries, of course, manufacturing, God knows what else, but here, like, I know I've heard nothing but bad things about the Johnson & Johnson one and the Pfizer one. I think that's those two were like the worst ones. And when you could tell, how you can tell, look at their stocks. I still have stocks. So I go on there and I looked at Pfizer. Their stock is only like, I think it's only like $20 a share. And then you look at Moderna, it's like $300 a share. And then you look at Johnson and Johnson, it's like way low too. So it's like you can tell how shitty a company is by their stocks too. And so just know that. According to us, is in the United States, street thugs. The United States owns the street. They should be like, they have this blood of criminals and rebels and thugs, and I think they forgot. They forget. My husband said one of COVID side effects is that you can become dumber as it affects your IQ. So he worried about waking up and being dumb. Oh my God. Well, tell him, you know what? You can do something to remove any like heavy metals in his blood system and things like that. You can take certain herbs to help with that, with detoxifying his entire system. And then he needs to change his mindset. He needs to make it into a healing mindset, meaning that he is healing this and he is not affected by it. I think that's what I like for one of my friends, my coworker, I would say. She took it and she had a really adverse reaction to it, where she just started to have like all of a sudden a skin condition. It looked kind of like, to me, it looked kind of like eczema, because it was like itchy and dry and patchy and stuff like that. Right after she took a shot, she's never had it before. So I told her, and then she started getting paranoid about it. She asked me questions. I told her to go get some like salves for it, or not, don't use lotions. And then just make her own cocoa butter and shea butter mixture with some essential oils to reduce the itchiness as well. And then I told her to start to drink some tea, to do some like real like systemic flush, like especially for her gut biome, so that it can get back to regulate that and for her immune system to fight back, and then to change her mindset about how powerful she really is with healing this, not letting the fear of taking the vaccine take over, and knowing that she can heal that herself. She can remove the effects of this vaccine herself, and she could fight it, And so that's one thing that I would recommend for people who did take the shot, or who know that somebody took a shot or whatever, and they're freaking out about it. Then they need to change their mindset about healing and how powerful they really are when it comes to healing. House of Judea says they also were racist against the Aborigines who were there before them, so not surprised. Movie Rabbit Proof Fence tells ugly part of Australian history. Some herbs they use for mercury removal, a lot of apothecary out there that helps. Yeah, exactly. Christy says, I will not get poked under any circumstances, even if that means I never leave my property again. Yeah. I think it's again, it's all about the strength of will when it comes to these things. Like, if you really don't, want it, then you need to fight for it. And if you did get it, for example, then you need to know that you're safe. Like if you're doing it because you didn't want to lose your job, for example, like with Denise, your husband, he needs to know that he can heal that. He can remove it from his system himself. He can push back against it energetically. And he needs to remember that he's powerful enough to remove any type of toxic in his system, or toxin in his system. Christy, that's against my religion. Yeah, that's the thing, is that the violation of the rights are coming from that belief, where a lot of the nurses one of the nurses that I talked to, she had a religious exemption so that she won't take the vaccine. And now they're going back on their word and telling her she has they gave her an ultimatum, and everybody else who submitted religious exemption saying that only Muslims and Jehovah's Witnesses are exempt, but not everyone else who has a different religious faith than that, you know. And so I told her exactly what she needs to do to fight back against that, and she will. She's a Scorpio. She don't fuck around. But yeah, they told her that she's gonna get fired if she doesn't take it, and her religious exemption doesn't count. That's fucking bullshit. Jayla says, I believe this has been going on for a while. The symptoms from COVID-19 I had back in 2016 from a radioactive iodine pill they gave me. Yeah, see, and that's funny because it's like, that's why I already honestly believe that everybody somehow got some form of it, right? Or it probably passed through all of us in some way. We just didn't get the symptoms as harsh as other people because we're more proactive with our health, right? So that's why I don't understand why they're pushing this. I don't understand why they're pushing a vaccine that clearly doesn't work, because nurses are telling me, and they're actually submitting information that they have patients that took the vaccine, both of them, and still got COVID. Jayla says, I'm not sure what it was or how they did it, but I'm pretty sure it was definitely man-made. Yeah, well, everything is usually. And this is what, like, a lot of people don't, like, I get being proactive in the scientific sense where they want to examine a disease that affects humanity in some way, shape, or form. But whatever the hell they did with that COVID, which is clearly coming out again, that it was lab created, they're kind of saying that there really isn't a reason for that. Where they said apparently this is like coming from bats, right? And then they said apparently it was coming from some fucking Chinese, fucking like wet market. And now they're saying, going back to the lab theory, where it was actually made there and it was pushed out into the public. Let's see. Jayla says, I have paperwork of myself, so it's just weird. All I got was it's a virus. Aquarian Essence says, Shane thinks we had COVID back in September 2019. It lingered until November. They released it long before they told us. Christy says, does anyone remember about 13 or 14 years ago, there was a scientist chick who works for some biotech firm who gleefully admitted they were working on a zombie virus to see if they could change human behavior by making a vaccine mix with a flu virus and rabies. I don't remember that, but I do remember that there was investigations on a lab. I think they fired this girl or this woman because she came out with information regarding what they were doing in these labs. I don't think it was the same person. I think she was a whistleblower. Christy says, I agree with that. I did have a terrible cough and weird congestion thing, and I couldn't get rid of it for a couple months at the same time. Oh yeah. So Christy, and those same symptoms a lot of people were talking about back then too, back in 2019 or even before that, where they got these weird, crazy upper respiratory symptoms that were kind of like, to a lot of people, felt like it was bronchitis, but it also felt like it was flu because they got the headache and then the like mucus buildup, and it was just like really bad that they couldn't even release the mucus. It was just like they knew there was fluid buildup, so like fluid in the lungs, so like bronchitis, and they couldn't release it. And that's the similar symptoms that people got from the H1N1. I believe the H1N1 that hit Remember, you guys, where a lot of people were getting fluid buildup in their lungs? And it's kind of like, that's very similar to COVID symptoms, too. It's weird. Let's see. 2019, I was on my house search. JLo says in 2016, I almost died 7 weeks in bed, and that kicked my rebirth process in overdrive. Chris says one of my stalkers who comments on YouTube videos mentioned my cough to prove I shouldn't be a health coach. Oh my God, get out of here. Health coaches are health coaches because they've been through fucking hell and back, and they know how to fucking help you through the processes, right? JLo said they said it's a cold, and 14 days later they said it was the flu. Yeah. Aquarius says it was like a cold, flu, bronchitis all at the same time. Yeah. After they said it was inflammation of the lung lining. Yeah, it's the same thing. I would say it's the very exact same symptoms. You're welcome into the awakening. Chrissy said, I swear to God, because he heard me cough that time in 2019. So you already pretty much got it. And you're like, ah, fuck it, I survived. Hi, Susan. Aw. Yeah, who fucking, like, it's funny, like, all I received, like, okay, my fiance actually got COVID. Like, the reason why he even knew he got it is because he had the lost sense of smell and taste. Because, okay, so we went camping in September last year, and we do this every year with the family. We go camping for Halloween, and he was complaining about his being achy. His body was aching, and I told him, like, you just worked out like really hard, so maybe that's what it is. And he's like, okay. So he was just sore, right? He just had muscle soreness, and then the next day he woke up and he had like a slight fever, and I gave him something for the fever to reduce it. Well, I gave him something that I found from his grandparents, and then it went away. Like the fever went away, but the achiness was still there. And then like a week after that, he couldn't smell anything and he couldn't taste anything, and he was freaking out. He's like, oh fuck, I think I got COVID. And I was in a tent with him. My daughter was in the tent with him. His family was near him, and things like that. Everybody was around. No one else got sick, or at least we don't think we did. Who knows? But for real, like, I was like in close contact and close proximity to him. And so he got tested. He was positive for COVID. And then he got like given just directions on how to maintain it. Like I think he got like an antibiotic or some bullshit. And then he was told to eat like what was it? Soups and Jello. So just basic stuff. And so he did, and he got better after. And he's like, but I can't believe you guys didn't get it. And I was like, well, yeah, we didn't even get sick, nothing. Like, we didn't have any cold, like, nothing. And my daughter didn't either. My sister lives with us. Her daughter lives with us. They didn't either. And so it's just like, it's like it picks and chooses. I swear to God. JLo says, my kids were thinking I lost it when I said I was here before. They said, what? I told them how I feel. I've been sick like this, but worse. Aquarian Essence says, me, Shane, and Lux all got hit at once. We would never get sick at the time. It was end of September, and right when we thought it was going away, it would kick back up again. Me and Shane rarely get sick. Susan Lee says my client said the same thing. He couldn't smell. He was vaxxed too. See? Told you. They could still get it. Into the Awakening says, mullein or lamb's ear dried and made into a tea was all I needed when I got it before anyone knew what this was back in December 2019. And Alex says, I find it so fascinating how you move in slow motion. Is it just me? Elysia does the same. It's not just the camera, right? Oh, okay. So me and Elysia, and we noticed this too with our camera. So we could affect electronics. And I think it's our Sag and Pisces energy, because she's a Pisces sun, and I believe she's a Sag moon or Sag rising. I forget. I think she's a Sag rising and Libra moon. And then mine is, of course, Sag sun and Pisces moon and Virgo rising. So we have this weird our energy when we project it or when we work with guides, it always tends to affect our electronics. Like right now, look at this. If you can see, like the way that my hand moves, you can see the little ripples, in my energy around my hand, pretty much. So we have this weird way of affecting electronics like that. And I noticed that with our phones, that our battery dies and drains quicker too. Like when I'm concentrating on something, for example, if I'm doing some type of like meditation and I'm using my phone for it, the battery starts to drain instantly, and I'm like, fuck, it's because I'm pulling that energy right from the battery, from the electricity. I'm using it. It's like I'm a fucking ghost. Like, I swear to God, like when they said that the ghosts usually use electronics or something, and they feed on it to manifest better or something, or affect their surroundings. I swear to God, it's kind of like that. It's fucking freaky. It's weird. Jayla says, I got sick the same day my mom passed, which was even more weird than my brother, two sisters, nephews, niece, and sister-in-law. It was just weird. Yeah. I think it's just like something that we all probably got in some way, shape, or form. Christy says, first I get into the awakening, higher vibrations, mullein rocks. I smoke it with some other herbs. In fact, I'm trying some right now. Chris says we all lost our taste and smell too in 2019. Then out of nowhere, before Thanksgiving in 2020, I got sick, lost taste and smell for a couple of weeks. Jesus, it's a lot. Do you know my fiance was so pissed? Like, he was so pissed that he lost his sense of taste and smell because he's a Taurus moon. He loves to fucking eat. All right? He loves to fucking eat. And he was so pissed. He's like, God damn it, I can't taste anything. You're welcome into the awakening. Love you too. Susan Lee says, I'm a Sag Pisces. I didn't know that. Yeah, you can affect electronics. A lot of us can, especially with our energy. There's some weird connection with electronics in us. I know Aquariuses can use electronics to manipulate like the software. Like, I've seen some Aquarius, like for example, my fiance, he does software coding and things like that, right? So he's super into that. But he can also manipulate the software with his energy. So if he's pissed off and he doesn't want something to happen, such as if he's playing a video game and clearly the other team is beating his team, all of a sudden the whole system would glitch and be like, either you have to reset the thing completely and start all over again. And it's because he manipulated it to do that, because he's so mad that he's losing. I swear to God. Maggie, I'm so cool waiting for you to disappear like a magician. And to the awakening, I affect electronics too. The TV turns off when I'm too close to it. My daughter is always telling me to leave the room. Yeah. Jayla says that I the Taurus sun and mine just got heightened. Hi, Blue Flame. Yeah, blue light bulbs. Oh, you know what I used to do? And this is why I don't get angry anymore. I don't project my anger out because I learned my lesson. So when I started like when I was younger, I would say I would blow up candles. Like they will just like if they were in a jar in particular, they will explode because I was so pissed. Like I remember this one time, I was okay, so it's two times this happened. So the first time was when I went to this retreat. I was like younger. I was like in my mid-20s. I went to this retreat and I was getting pissed that this girl in the retreat was she was projecting her energy and I could feel it and everybody could feel it and people were like, what the fuck's her problem? And then, you know, when you have to talk about your problems, right? So I went and I said, I was like, you know, I find it interesting that we are all here gathered together and we are all here being mindful of our energy fields. And then there's other people who are not. And then I just like my energy just went like elevated and all of a sudden pop. It was a candle right next to me and this other girl and it just exploded and everybody's like, oh, and I'm like, oops, sorry. Sorry. And I'm like, I'll pay for that. Oh, I'm sorry. And the lady who was running the retreat, she like pulled me aside. She's like, oh my God, I've never seen that happen before. And she's like, it's okay to be angry and you're safe, you know, whatever, but that's pretty cool. Just she was telling me, just be careful, okay? And I'm like, I know this happens a lot. And so the next time that it had happened was when I was learning Reiki, which for my in my book it doesn't work for me because it's somebody else's created system of healing technique and stuff like that. It doesn't work for me. The lady who was teaching me, she had a meditation circle, and then she was kind of like talking about how there's a lot of people who believe they think they know everything but they don't. And then she was saying you'll learn more when you're older. And she was saying how her generation is much more I guess powerful than other generations. And she was just being so fucking biased, right? Making herself supposedly look good. And I know she was talking about me because I was just like, this doesn't feel right. Like whenever she was telling me how to like do the Reiki, I was like, I don't feel any energy. I'm sorry. Like, can I just try it myself the way that I know how to do it intuitively? And she's like, yeah, sure. And she even felt my energy when I did it intuitively instead of using it the Reiki method. And so she, I guess later on, she got all fucking high and mighty and her ego trip showed when we were at this meditation thing, and all these two other girls that are my age were looking at each other like, who's she talking about? And so then I was like, I find it interesting. You know me, I was getting pissed. And I was like, well, I find it interesting that we're saying this about generations not knowing this or that, but we're all here to learn from one another. I mean, the older generation can learn from us too, as we are learning from them. I think everybody has the ability to be, healers in their own right, and I don't think it should be a matter of who's older or not. And when I said that, it was like this big release, and then a fucking again a candle that was in a jar broke. I was like, fuck. She looked at me like oh fuck, you know. And then I'm like, I told her I'll pay for that. I know that's my energy. And she, after that, she like kind of like, I was like, and don't worry, I won't come back. Because I could feel it that she was scared, and I was like, don't worry, I won't come back. I was like, fuck, I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, that happens a lot, you guys, with your energy. Like if especially if you're going through some stuff, like if you're releasing things, or if you're downloading stuff, like it does tend to be pushed out, you know, and sometimes we might be aware of it, and sometimes we won't be aware of it, and sometimes we mean it, and sometimes we don't. So just remember that. Sometimes it just shit just happens. I broke three phones 3 months. High drain batteries. Oh my god. I remember this phone in particular. I think it was when I was texting somebody. I think I was texting somebody and I got pissed about their circumstances. Not at the person, but what was going on with them. I get defensive energetically and protective. And then my phone started glitching. It started glitching. And then I stopped and I put my phone down. I was like, okay, that means because I'm thinking bad thoughts about whoever's hurting this person, and I need to stop. And I need to control my fucking anger and emotions, because my phone is like warning me, like, don't say that, you know, like by glitching, like, don't say that. It might manifest, you know, and so I'm just like, oh, okay, I need to calm down because it'll fuck up somebody's life or something. Because it does happen that way with me. Like I said earlier on this week, that I do have tower and death energy. Tower moment energy, where I produce tower moments for people sometimes, and death energy the same thing, where I do rebirths for people, because that's a shamanic thing. Where who are all shamans, who are supposed to be shamans and healers too, we all have tower and death energy, where we transform people's lives whether they like it or not by interacting with us. Where we help people with their death cycles, of course, you know. That's the shamanic part. But as healers, we're supposed to be healing and assisting people with their transformation. And sometimes it is the tower energy for them, especially if they hold on to something so tightly that they don't want to let go because of fear. So they come to us for assistance, then we provide that energy because they already have it, but we, in so many ways, stimulate it even more. And so that's what happens sometimes, you know, with, as healers, we do that. We do tower energy for our clients, especially that they need that extra push or motivation to let go of something or end the cycle, right? And then the death energy would be of transformation and rebirth, you know, like let you go through the dark night of the soul in order for you to transform and rebirth yourself into you know, who, the version that you really truly want to be. And so I didn't realize I had this effect until I think it was my last breakup. And I feel so fucking guilty now that I look back at it. So, and I didn't realize that I had this effect on people, like that tower moment on people. Like, so when I make up my mind to break up with someone or to leave them, it's usually like I had my last fucking straw with them, right? And so I do it really kindly. Like, I'm like, hey, let's talk, you know, and we talk about the relationship status, and then I say what I have to say, such as, I don't think I'm happy anymore because X, Y, and Z, and I give an explanation, and then boom, it's over, right? And it's usually happens, the tower moment usually happens to the men that I dated who cheated on me. And I don't find out that they cheated until either before I break up or after. So there's this one guy that I dated for 3 years, didn't know he was cheating on me emotionally, okay? Not physically, but emotionally, where he was talking to a girl late at night, texting back and forth, and things like that, right? Had no idea. I thought it was just a friend, right? Like thinking, oh, it's just a coworker, whatever, asking questions. So I break up with him. A week later, he's dating this chick, right? So I'm just like, right away, when I found out that he was dating someone a week later, I was like, oh, really? So that's definitely true then that he was already emotionally cheating on me. And so I got so fucking angry, you guys, that I knew that I projected anger towards him, and I knew something bad was going to happen. And I didn't know how it's going to manifest, but I even prayed to God. I was like, whatever this lesson is that he needs to learn, let it be something that he learns because he fucked me over, but not something that's gonna do him harm, like physically. Because I knew that like me being angry and me wanting him to fail at something was only way that he's gonna fucking realize what he did to me, right? And so that's when I realized that I had that energy, because weeks after, he calls me and tells me how horrible his life is with this new girl, that she's verbally abusive, that she's nothing like me, that I was so like the perfect whatever, and then that he thinks that he got an STD from her and all this crazy shit, and I was just like, holy fuck. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I prayed again. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't want him to get an STD. I just wanted him to get, his just desserts, but not an STD. And so I was like, fuck, what is this? What type of energy do I carry, And so I was looking at explanations, like what the fuck, and yeah, I realized that I have tower energy and that I have death energy in certain ways, that it manifests in certain ways for certain people. It manifests in a horrible way, of course. Like, for example, that was a horrible way, in my opinion. When I'm angry, and so that's why anger is very, like, yes, it's important to release it, but not to direct it completely, to a person. Just release it, because you just have to like scream sometimes, so not be like, I wish you would. Yeah, like, so I had to be mindful of that. I had to be mindful of that, because I have that effect, apparently. So it's just, just being mindful. It's important, you guys. I know when I was younger, I wasn't. I was projecting that shit left and right, and people fucking got bad shit that happened to them because they fucked me over or something. Let's read these comments. Let's see. We got Aquarian Essence, electronics do not like me. And then how's it today? I've literally spoken to my laptop and my cell to get it working again, like it's a person that works every time. But you have Pisces energy too. And then Susan Lee says, he's gotta do some training and generate free electricity. Right? Aquarian Essence says, I used to have an electronic graveyard collection. Christy says, I affect electronics too. I hate them, so I break them. J-Lo says, oh my God, if I'm upset, my phone messes up if I put both hands on it. Yeah. Aquarius Essence says, Lux is a Gemini. If she mad at me, my electronics won't work. Oh my God. Blue Flame integrations. A lot of NY lives. You can see my bedside light get real bright and then goes dim. It's constantly. Aquarian Essence, down. Oh, Max says, damn, I've caused accidents with my anger. A really bad accident in the freeway, and a client fell and broke his hip. I was so angry at my mom that morning. We were late. It was out our first day. Blue Flame says, I have most of my old phones still. Max says, it's always with my mom too. Blue Flame says, I'll say hello. And then the accident could have killed her. Christy Aphrodite says, hated when that happens. Susie, thank you so much, Ari. You're welcome. Mona says, yeah, crystals break in my hands or they go lost sometimes. That saddens me. Blue Flame says, I had to stay off live. I don't know what's going on with my Marine, my voice station in Japan. He told me he's exhausted and he confirmed what I've suspected. Does he have COVID or what is it? Let's see. Mag says, I was right out of high school. Chrissy says, I hear that, Mags. I gave a judge an aneurysm, and yeah, not even gonna talk about it here. Oh my god. JLo says, I learned not to say mean things anymore as they happen, and then I feel really bad after the anger passes. Yeah, that's exactly what happens with me too. It's like we fucking prophesize that shit. We manifest that shit into reality. So I was like, ugh. Blue Flame says, my phone shuts off and just drains the battery fast. Yeah. Christy said, I don't want to kill anyone, usually. Christy. Oh my god. Christy says, it would be actually really cool to discuss these things with other adepts, just not fun for me trying to text to the computer. People who sold me to certain projects have seen firsthand what I can do, and they actually fear me. Love it. Let's see. Mona, Karma Initiator. Aquarius says, Sagittarius in ninth house is the lawmakers, the upper court cases like Supreme, and your planet ruler is the planet of the gods. Damn Sagittarius. Oh my god. Justice will be served. That's exactly what happened, like goes in my fucking head. As soon as I get angry, justice will be served. That's what I hear. And it's like my fucking, you know what I always think about it is like my little, you know, when you have that demon and the angel in your shoulder, the little demon that whispering justice will be served, you know? And I'm just like, oh my god, I hope it's not bad. Like my fucking little Piscean moon starts crying like, oh, I don't want to hurt anybody. But as far as the Sag, just like, yeah, let them get justice. You know, let their karma come back to them, you know? As long as I'm not directly doing it, right? I'm not directly doing it. Someone else is doing it for me. So that's exactly what happens usually. And that's why I'm like, oh, when I do start to get angry, I start to go outside and just start to talk to my spirit guides and like, help me with this anger, help me transmute it and not project it out. I know that justice will be served, and I know that karma is going to be administered. And what I also think about, you guys, is that 0-degree portal energy that I have in my chart, which is the Capricorn in Neptune energy. And when I was looking it up, it's karmic cycles, right? It's a fucking it's one of those 0 degrees is the karmic cycle, the beginning of the karmic cycle. And so when I think about that energy, I'm like, so I'm the beginning of the karmic cycle, fuck, you know, like sometimes I fucking think about it, I'm like, oh my god, that's who I am, you know, like I'm fucking a tower energy and the, you know, karmic energy and death energy, you know. And so when we think about the 0 degrees in that sense, we also see understanding that, hey, karmic cycles maybe begins with us, with our interactions with other people, and then we learn from them, but other people might still have some shitty situations that happen to them if they fuck us over, right? So I'm just like, fuck, maybe that has a lot to do with that too. And then when we think about like I think about it because of cosmic drugs, for example, she explains it as a 0 degree is a portal energy, is a channel energy, where it's able to be open to everything, right? Open to every type of energy, you know, any type of universal energy, spiritual energy. And I think about it when I think about that phrase that I hear, justice will be served, in like this really evil type of fucking phrase. I'm like, fuck. Like what? Like, okay, calm down. First of all, like It will be served, but not through us. Like, they'll get their just desserts, whatever, just, not through us. I'm gonna just work on this anger, through me, and keep it with me, and release it and transmute it in that way. JLo says, that's so true. I told my ex he was going to break his leg for being an a-hole, and he did. Oh, shit. That time we worked together, so I took care of him. Oh my God. Blue Flame says, America's in big trouble. I barely can talk to him. He's a E5, and we are under high alert, whether anyone knows it or not. Koreana says, you're the third sec to say that this week, Justice. Yeah. It's interesting how everything's playing out as well for those people who are being wrongfully terminated because they refuse to take the vax, and it's unfair. And I get so fucking angry over that shit, you guys. I was so pissed today because of it, and I was just like, oh my God, I need to fucking release this anger. I was so mad because I couldn't believe that they were doing this to our, to nurses, to medical people, to anybody, like just taking away their livelihood because they refuse to, take something that doesn't even work. And so I was just like, I got flashes of I got flashes in my head of like possible outcomes, right? Where someone's gonna pay for this, someone's gonna pay for this karma, and then I was like, okay, I need to go outside and fucking purify my energy, transmute this energy, release it. And my guides helped me out and everything. And I was just like, I just know that justice will be served in its own manner. It's a matter of time. It's actually instant, to be honest with you guys. It'll be instant that people are going to start to really, really see the light and the error of their ways. And I think because of these placements, because of our, we got Jupiter in Aquarius, then we got Uranus retrograde, and then we got Virgo energy, where we reap what we sow. So people are going to be sowing what they reaped all year. So anyone who's done harm to humanity in some way, shape, or form is sowing that now. It's reaping their karma now. And so just, know that's happening. Susan says, I think I have Juno as 0 degrees cap. JLo says, interesting, I like that. I'm in whole chart. I have 0 degrees MC and IC. Yeah, Cosmic Drugs was telling me about that because she thought it was super interesting. Like, she was looking at my chart. I have 0 degrees and I have also 29 degrees. I believe, which one is it? I think it was, I don't remember my chart, you guys. I don't think it was like a common placement. I think it was one of the who was it? I don't remember what it was in 29 degrees. But anyway, she's explaining this in this manner where, of course, I know the 0 degrees and 29 degrees are the critical points or the critical degrees. But when she said it's kind of like the 0 degrees is pure portal energy, meaning you are a pure open vessel, like open to every type of energy. It actually made sense. Because in my practice, we are taught to be open to spirit, to creator, and creator manifests itself into different forms, and to examine these forms, because these forms are coming up to us for a reason, right? To examine them, to question ourselves, question our beliefs, question why we're having these interactions with these aspects of spirit or aspects of creator. And so when I was barely, like, especially when I was younger, I would have like these interactions with beings that were like, would be something out of like a fucking horror movie to a lot of people. But in my youth, as a kid, I didn't know they were supposed to be scary. Like I was just like, oh hey, like I don't know what you want, but I don't know. And so I was never afraid of it. And then when I started to go in deeper into my practice, when I started to be taught by my great aunt and my grandmother, she was telling me to question why things are happening, question why you're seeing these things, question it. Don't talk to them, but question yourself. Like, what's going on within me? Like, why am I attracting this? And then go from there. And then when I was older and started to practice shamanism, the same thing is like the interactions that I had with spirit and the interactions in the spiritual realm and my dreams and things like that. I was questioning it because I'm just like, what am I doing here? What's the purpose of this? This interaction. And why am I seeing these beings? And so being a portal, a 0-degree portal, that means you're open to everything. You're open to every type of energetic interaction. And so that's what cosmic drugs explained to me, that's exactly what happens. And sometimes, depending on the placement too, where the 0 degrees lies, it depends on, she kind of explained it, depending on what planet and what sign, that could backfire sometimes, especially if you don't have that wanting to understand instead of react, mindset. And so that's what she was explaining. And then the 29 degrees, she was explaining that's like the end of a cycle, that you've already done it, you already mastered it. And so I do have a lot of, like, I think have several 29 degrees and then 28 degrees and then like a lot of like old, like I was like old ass fucking soul fucking degrees in my chart. And that's what she explained, that 29 degrees is the old soul. When you look at the final degrees, it's like you're old as fuck, all right? I was like, damn, I'm old as fuck. And I know a lot of people that are born into, like, especially if their sun is at like the 29 degrees, you guys are old as fuck. You guys are older than the fucking sun, all right? You're older than a fucking star. Old as fuck. That's what I got from what she explained. I was like, oh fuck. Old motherfuckers. Aquarius says, my Sag mom Matt told me my Leo leg tattoo was going to get infected and I would lose my leg. Week later, I would have lost my leg if I wanted another day or two to see a doctor. Oh my god. She like told you that? Like, oh shit. Let's see. Aquarian Essence says she has her South Node in Aquarius in 29 degrees. Oh, and so the South Node explains the past life. So again, like shit that you already did. You've been there, done that, and you fucking have the fucking t-shirt to prove it. You're old as fuck. This isn't your first rodeo. Okay, Aquarian Essence. Aquarian Essence, I just posted an episode on my channel about 29 being the most karmic. Jupiter at 29 degrees, Aqua, interesting, creaky bones. My MCN Pisces and IC is Virgo, and I enjoy learning much. Yeah, it is, because you have to, like, that's your final fucking, that's your final shit. Like, that's the ending of a cycle type of thing. And some people believe that's the evolutionary point as well for your soul. Where you hit the 29 degree, you're evolved. You like hit that evolutionary or the ascension degree, so to speak. So it's definitely fucking interesting to see it in people's charts. Depending depending on where it is, on the planet or the sign. With the MC, or was it your? Let's see. Oh, that's J-Lo's. South Node. With the South Node is definitely like coming to an end, like the cycles that you created beforehand, before you incarnated again. It's like let's end this fucker. This is your lifetime where you're gonna end it. Like this is the end type of thing. This is where you evolve. 29 degrees from the south node. Um, so that's why when you do all that work, right, with the karmic cycles, when you've been through some shitty shit, sometimes a lot of people go through some shitty shit with that 29 degrees, especially in your placement, then you look to the north node. And that's the north node that ends things, and finalizes the evolution for you. So you evolve from there. So the Leo, you're evolving into the Leo, right? And you ascend into the Leo energy, so to speak. Yeah, Aquarius and your Aquarius sun and the south node is Aquarius. Yeah, Aquarius. Yeah, it is your last rodeo. Oh, that's fucking soul. You ain't coming back. You ain't coming back. You're like, fuck this. I gotta end this now. You ain't coming back. So yeah, I always see that shit. Like, I know it's 29 degrees somewhere, and I don't forgot where, but it's some Pisces degree. It's in Pisces somewhere. And it's not my moon, it's another one. I forgot. Yeah, how's it appears not to be guacamole? But that's what you got to figure out, though. That's where you're headed upwards into that north node. Think of the north node as being that final, like that's the door that you use to close all these karmic cycles with the south node, right? With the Aquarian south node. And then it's kind of like you have to be the Leo finally, this lifetime, stepping into the Leo, evolution of the Leo, right? Through all that shit that you had to go through with your Aquarian South Node, ending those chapters, and that Leo is that door that you close finally, right? And I would say the thing that comes to mind for that evolution would be presentation, or putting yourself out there more, right? Like kind of like when you write your things, but also presenting yourself, being in the public eye would be a very Leoan type of energy to work with to finally close that chapter in your life, with the Aquarian energy and stuff like that. So that's what I would say. That's what comes to mind when it comes to that. So I know a lot of people are not comfortable with going on video or doing public speaking, but I feel this is something that Aquarian Essence, I feel this is something that you're going to start doing, because especially if you're writing blogs and helping people, they're going to want to fucking meet you. They're going to want to meet your ass, okay? They're going to want you to be like, what's up? Let's hang out. Let's go on a retreat, You're public speaking, you're going to be like a motivator, and things like that. And so that's exactly what I feel this degree is going to help you with, in that north node in Leo is going to help you with in that evolutionary way. Enter Bluefin says 3 X's in one day, 2 stopped by and 1 called yesterday. Oh shit, you got a lot of shit coming up. A lot of fucked up energy like not fucked up, but like X energy. I don't like it when they fucking pop up. That's why I don't like, my ass always goes and resorts to my south node in Scorpio when it comes to X's. Where I cut them off. Like I burn fucking bridges. I fucking burn bridges. I put dynamite under the the fucking connectors to the bridges so they will never use them again. And I fucking put, like fucking like water or something. Like there's no I put a fucking ocean in between us. When it comes to exes, I don't give them no fucking inch to connect or contact me anymore. They somehow find a fucking way, though. Like, I swear to God, I block their numbers. I change my number. I don't, if they know my email, that's the only way that they can reach me, right? And then I fucking I put them in the spam folder. And I blocked their email. That's why the one time that my ex, the one that I told you guys about, that told me all this stuff that he got an STD and stuff like that. The reason why he even got in contact with me was through my work email, because we worked we worked in the Air Force, and I can't get rid of my work email. So I was like, fuck. That's how he was able to reach me. And I was like, oh, but I just told him, leave me alone. After that, I was like, all right, whatever, leave me alone. Oh my God. But yeah, that's like that South Node in Scorpio helps me with that. I was like, fuck yeah, you can't fucking know. And I actually, I used to move. From place to place too. Like I used to there's so many memories of things that I did with this guy in this apartment. I'm moving. So I used to move. So they didn't know where I lived either. So my ass was like, I'm ghosting. Like I'm fucking out. Like no, they're never gonna know. Never gonna know. Curry says midheaven and Pisces. I'm an 8th house sun. The higher ups told me for years this is it. Yep, it is. Blue Flame says I'm cool with them, but only one I still actually have feelings for. Aw. Is it the Scorpio Blue Flame? The one that we talked about a while ago? Aquarian Acid says, then I had a SAG tell me I'm being called home. I hate I hate being on camera. North Node on my 3rd. Yeah. Aries Chiron is putting the pressure on. Yep. Aquarian Essence, we gotta see your beautiful face. We gotta see it. We gotta see that you exist. Whereas I do too, I burst salt bridges. Nothing will ever grow on here. The soil never grow anything. Oh my God. Jayla says, I just have a 29 progress ascended in Cancer. Okay, so that would be like anything to do with your family, nurturing yourself, self-love, and also even intuition about things that are not being told to you. Like you're gonna find that progress ascended in Cancer is gonna make you a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because you're gonna read a text message, but you're gonna feel something that's not written in the text message, right? And then you're gonna go crazy because you're gonna be like, oh fuck, am I overreacting? And then you're gonna read this text message again and read it again and again, and you're like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, and the message has nothing to do with what I'm feeling. Swear to God, because I'm a progressed Cancer moon, and I'm like, I always get like that too, like, fuck, am I going crazy? Mag says, you part the waters, and as they are walking halfway, you release the part. Haha, let them drown. A real Scorpio to say that too. It's like the Red Sea when supposedly in the like when I'd never read the Bible, you guys, but I watched the fucking movies, right, during like the holidays. So with Moses, when he parted the Red Sea and his people walked in, as soon as they got to the other side and the Egyptians were coming, he just closed it. So like that's some fucking scorpion shit, like Scorpio shit right there. Blue Flame said, I prefer not to hang on to that energy. They can tell me they were stupid and I was right all along. Yeah. Aquarian Essa says, I'll get a Donald Trump mask, go on camera. Oh my God. Susan Lee says, thank you all for so much for validating and schooling me. Oh, you're welcome, Susan. Blue Flame says, the main road in my town is blocked. All traffic is directed in front of my house. What the fuck, dude? That's fucked up. You should be like, you should like dig potholes on purpose. so they block your road. So you just can get out the other way, and then nobody could go through your street or in front of your house. Korean SSS 29-degree Cancer is deep and full of emotions. Yep. That's why it's like you're gonna go a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because you're gonna be feeling everything, and you're gonna be reading something, and it's like you're gonna feel the energy that of the sender, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? I don't think they're saying that. Like they're not saying that, but I'm feeling it, right? Jill says I read everything from everyone. Aquarius says I'm a Cancer moon and rising. Yeah. Tara says she has 29 degrees ascendant Libra. That would be definitely regarding balancing home and home and work. Okay, so relationship and career, but also justice, like how you feel justice should be served too. And so you're gonna find a lot of I feel like there's a lot of catalyst energy behind Libra energy in 29 degrees, where people who mess with people who have that 29 degrees in Libra do get the instant karma too, but it's more of like legal things, like law, legal, also relationship things, because the Libra is ruled by Venus, and so anything to do with relationships in the home get heightened even more with that ascended Libra 29 degrees, like chaos. I swear to God. Like if people are bringing chaos to your home, to your love life, to your career, things like that, they're going to get their shit. They're going to get their pee-pee slapped by the universe, put it that way. Let's see. J-Lo, I've been staying off social media because I can read between the lines. Yeah. Blue Flame says, I care about Scorpio, but no, he's a Capricorn. Oh, shit. Blue Flame, Aries and the Capricorn. Fuck. Too fucking competitive as fuck people, but also hard workers. So it'll be like, that's interesting if you guys have time for one another, because you guys are just so busy all the time. Suzanne says, I'm a Scorpio Pisces, heavy discerning is new to me. Aquarius says to Blue Flame, they better did it on purpose. Yep. I've met one couple in my life. That was a Cap and Aries. I've not met anyone ever since. I usually have Aries. I usually find Aries couples with, it just depends on their placements too, with Virgos. Honestly, like my family's full of them. My family's full of Aries with Virgo. The other one was Aries with Gemini that I have in my family too. That combination, Aries and Gemini, and then Aries and Virgo. But the most unlikely of matches that I have in my family are Taurus and Aquarius. Taurus and Aquarius, the craziest fucking match ever. The most unlikely of matches. Oh, Blue Flame, you're Capricorn moon. Yeah. See, then you got that even more. And you're always like busy doing your thing and not wanting to get interrupted. And I'm sure that's does put a strain a little bit in the love life, because you're so busy with creating your own fucking life. Doing your own thing, doing your own thing, not being free sometimes for the pleasures of life. Was another thing. That's another one that was crazy that I see in my family all the time. Gemini and Cancer too. That's a combination that is fucking chaos. Like Aries and Virgo at least hide the fucking chaos. Gemini and Cancer do not fucking care who's around them. The drama is gonna be out in the open. Uh, Taurus and Aquarius don't hide it well either. Like, they can argue, but they're not gonna fucking throw hands. No, Gemini and Cancer will throw hands. Like, I was like, fuck! Holy shit! Love Taurus, Aquarius. You go because you got that Cancer. That's why Cancer and Taurus are like soulmates. Uh, oh my god. So I was looking at their charts too, like my fiance's grandparents. His grandma is a Aquarius. She's like the first degrees of Aquarius, so she's 0 degrees Sun in Aqua. And she has a Libra moon and which one was it? What was it? It's like, oh, and a Capricorn rising. Because when I initially met her, I thought she was a Capricorn. And then she told me her birthday, and I was like, oh, it's right there. Like, she's at 0 degrees of Aqua. So that makes sense. And so she's really, really a kind woman, but God, does she get triggered by her husband? Oh my God. He's a Taurus sun. And I think his moon is Gemini or something, because he's a jokester and he jokes around and she can't stand it. She cannot stand his jokes. He's fucking hilarious too, like without wanting to be. He's hilarious. But I don't know his rising because I don't know his time. He doesn't know his time of birth. So they just can't, like, they'll argue like in front of us, and then they'll be like, that's fine, you know, like stop the argument. I just start cracking up because it's so funny. Me and my fiance just laugh at, like, look at each other, kind of giggle. But the scary one is the that I've seen in my family, and this is coming from my mom's family, okay? And it's her siblings. All of them, like, I swear to fucking God, they always end up like with the wrong person. But when I was little, I saw a fight between my aunt, who's a Gemini, who's my mom's little sister, and her husband, who's a Cancer. And he put his hands on her and she fucking pushed his ass down. And she was like going for a fucking knife in the kitchen. And my mom grabbed her and was like, calm down, you know? And then she told her husband, you just need to go take a walk. Okay, I'll handle her. You go take a walk. And she was so that was the first time I've ever seen her that mad, because she's usually just really chill because she's a Gemini. She's like really, she jokes around and stuff, but I've never seen her that triggered. And so, but she's done, like, apparently she's done that a lot before when they were dating and before they got married and stuff. And yeah, they ended up getting married anyway. But yeah, I was like, fuck, like, that's crazy. Yeah, toxic. Yeah. Yeah, it is. They're not anymore. Like, now they're older, of course. They're stuck with each other, so I might as well they just ignore each other now. If my uncle says something stupid, because he does say something stupid because he's all butthurt because he's a Cancer, he'll say something really stupid and offensive, and she'll just like roll her eyes and ignore him now. Like, she doesn't even argue with him anymore. Or she'll change the subject and like go ask whoever's around a question about their life. Just so he just like knows, like, he needs to just fucking stop, right? It's funny. Aries and Virgo do. Yes, I do. Fuck. They didn't, like, never. I don't know any fucking drama until I'm told. Like, with my family members who are Aries and Virgo, like I don't know about their life, like their relationship. They don't even talk about it, and or even any complicate or any arguments, nothing. Like they come hang out and they look like they chill, with each other, but they're usually off like talking to other people and stuff like that. So you don't ever hear about any arguments with them. Like they don't ever say anything. It's funny. Blue Flame says Cap Sun Cancer Rising Libra Moon. His big three is all cardinal too. Yeah, that's crazy. Great. Blame it on the eighth house sun. Blue Flame says the ex Aries propositioned me. He has a Virgo baby mama. Oh shit. See, tell me Virgo and Aries. JL says Taurus, but I have a Gemini rising, so it depends on which one you piss off. Aquarius says my eighth house sun aspects to the second original home of Taurus. I have deep, close relationships with Taurus and Scorpio. Yeah. Said Blue Flame says the Aries has issues with being faithful. It's why I got away from him. Now he's actively trying to cheat. Apparently, he's miserable. Yeah, well, that happens. That does happen if like I feel like Aries, like I couldn't trust any Aries. Like I dated Aries. I only dated two Aries in my entire life, and that was when I was younger. My first boyfriend was an Aries. He was a cheater, straight out, fucking looking at other girls, talking to other girls, things like that. And I was like, fuck you. He got mad at me though because I wasn't. He thought I wasn't loyal or enough because I refused to go to. At that time, I was an atheist. You guys, I was a teenager. I was an atheist. I was going through some shit. So he was getting his confirmation done at this Catholic church that I refused to go. He invited me and I was like, why? Like, I don't even know your family. Like, I didn't, like, I met his mom and his sisters, but I felt really uncomfortable. And I was like, I don't think I can make it, And then he got fucking pissed off at me saying that I wasn't faithful or loyal enough for him. And I was like, motherfucker, you've been cheating on me. Shut the fuck up, So we broke up. And then I had another Aries ex when I was like in my early 20s. I think it was right after I got divorced. I started seeing this guy and he was like, he went from 0 to 100. Okay. Like I started just having like friendly talks with him online. And then like we knew each other from like mutual friends and stuff. And then we just started chatting it up online for like not even a week. And then this motherfucker tells me that ask me if I wanted to be his girlfriend and that he's in love with me. And I was like, yeah, I could date you, but I was like, not in love with him, like in my head, like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, I think you're awesome. Like I couldn't say it back because I didn't mean it. So we dated for like a few months. And then I guess he was like moving on already. He met some Leo chick at work and he was talking to her and he was making it seem like, oh, she's just a coworker that I'm helping. And I was like, I already knew it, right? Like instantly. I was like, if he keeps talking about her, it's because he has a crush on her or they're talking or something. And then I told him, I was like, hey, are you interested in her? Like straight out, like my sad mouth. Like, hey, you're interested in her? He was like, no, she's just a coworker. She's just really friendly. And I was like, well, it sounds like you are. So I'll just make it easier for you. Bye. But yeah, Aries are not, like, it depends, I guess, on the placements, of course. But they're just, like, looking for the next thing, if they're not happy, of course. J-Lo Taurus, but I have a Gemini, right? Okay, so... Aquarian Essence, that's my mom. Goes from the knife and the jugular. Blue Flame said, I told him he shouldn't come here, that Virgo will be able to tell. That's true. Virgos intuitively know what's like something's up, you know. They won't be confrontational about it until later on though. Like they have to have evidence, you know. And then they'll confront the person. Um Cranes says Aries tells me about it. Luffy, I imagine two rams sitting on a couch. The fact he apologized was a huge red flag. That guy never apologizes. I'm an Aries, and I have a stellium and Pluto on my rising. Yeah. I don't know. Those are the only two Aries that I've ever dated. Like I've had like people in the, like when I was in the military, there's a lot of Aries in the military, by the way, of course. I'm attracted to that lifestyle. But they were always trying to date me, and I was just like I already got this vibe. They must be a fire sign, right? And then I would ask them, so what's your birthday? And then they'll tell me, and I'm like, so okay, cool. And then they'll be like, what's your birthday? Like you, like I'm just flirting with them, right? And I'll tell them, and they're like, oh, okay. And I had no fucking clue that I was like thinking, oh fuck, they're Aries sun, fuck, you know, like fucking go straight out, fucking friend zone them right now. And sure enough, I did that. You know, so funny. And then they became my friends, right? And then they would move on. They moved on because they could work with me, like they couldn't flirt with me, they couldn't, you know, hook up with me. And then they started moving on and started to date girls that I knew. And it's so funny, they will always come to me and say, I wish I was dating you instead of her. And I was like, oh, that's too bad. Because you're dating her. I was just like, all right, no. And you know, another sign that I would avoid, like, it was a Leo. Like, I dated a Leo. I think I dated one Leo in my entire life. And I don't really remember why I even dated this guy. I don't remember why I dated him. Or when I dated him. I'm like drawing a blank as to like how old I was. But okay, so it wasn't really like I was with him. Like we weren't like together. It was just like a date. And then after that, I was like, not for me. Cause I just couldn't stand that he was so fucking weepy. Like he was so like, poor me. And I was like, oh, I don't know what the fuck you're going through, but fuck. You know, like I'm not about it. I was like, fuck, no, like you need that attention for real, you know, like I was like, no thanks, you know. So he was friend zoned. But those, I really avoided those two signs, like the fire signs. Like I never ever once dated a Sagittarius, you guys, never. Because I knew them and I knew how they would interact with other people, right? I would see it. And then they're not faithful either. The men, Sag men, unfortunately, they're not. I hate saying it, but some of them are not. You know, like a high majority in the military were definitely not faithful. They were cheating on their spouses anytime they had the fucking opportunity, you know, even with the ugliest chicks, you know, like to them, you know what their fucking motto was? And I remember hearing it because military men are very blunt. They don't care who fucking hears it. Pussy is pussy. It don't matter. You could just put a fucking, you could just turn off the lights. You could just put a fucking bag over her fucking face. Pussy is pussy. That's what they would say, the Sag men. And I'm like, you guys are fucking disgusting, dude. Gross. Yeah. Not faithful at all. Virgo pull that Pisces energy and spies. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Virgo does it. They have an inkling of anything that goes wrong. They'll pull up the fucking, like, their fucking social media. They'll even go back to, like, months of interactions. Who's liking his post? Who's he liking? You know? They'll, like, if they have an opportunity to get your text messages or to get, like, your phone bill, they will fucking get it. They want the evidence, right? That you're compiling the evidence to prove to them that you are cheating. Then they'll confront you. The Blue Flame says he's an Aries Sun, Sag Rising, Aqua Moon. Oh my god. Damn. No wonder he's cheating. The Sag Rising right there just tells you everything you need to know. Aquarian. Aquarian. I just stop messing with the flaps on base. Aquarian says I could see myself burning one of their new cars by the gates. That's funny. Oh my god. Blue Flame says, I know she's keeping receipts. Ah! Aquarian Essence says, I won't and refuse to date a Sagittarius male. Yeah, I'm telling you. Blue Flame said, Leos are awful. The competitive nature drives Aries nuts. We're more in competition with our own selves, right? Aquarian says, he got an Aqua Moon and Sag Rising. He want to be playa. Sagman and Virgo are not faithful. Yeah, you know what? I dated a Virgo only once. And he was nice and everything, but he lacked substance. Like when I try to talk, it's like pulling fucking teeth trying to talk with this guy, like about like deep shit, like philosophies and belief systems and things like that. He like would joke around instead, which is like, okay, he's a funny guy, but fuck, you have anything in your fucking noggin? I was like so disappointed. I was like, Virgo men are supposed to be intelligent too. Like, come on. And Mercury rules them, and so they're supposed to be chatty too. And this motherfucker was like, well, and I was just like, all you want to do is joke around now. Blue Flame, I never saw a clinging sag in my life. He thought, well, watching porn wasn't cheating. Oh my God. It is cheating, especially if, like, come on, if you have a girlfriend and you're still watching porn and doing that, why? Like, dude, why? Like, you got a girlfriend. Like, come on. Like, turn her on. You know what I mean? Like, why do you have to watch porn? That's so dumb. I'm hoping she catches him. Lux's dad is a Virgo. Aquarius, I think for like Virgos, because they're physical, right? They have to have like, at least the guy that I dated was like fucking wanting to have sex all the time. And I think I started seeing him withdraw or like not be so interested after a while because I was just like I'm not gonna lie, I was like not attracted to him anymore. And I withheld. And then I started to notice a pattern where he was like talking to an ex, or he'll talk to like a friend back home and stuff like that. Or they'll be flirting with him online, right? Like Facebook gets you in trouble all the fucking time. So they'll be flirting with him on Facebook, and I would see like every time he posted anything, I would see them comment like, "Oh, you look so good," and stupid shit like that, and he'll like it. And then I was just like, and I started to see that after I withheld, right? Because I was not attracted to him. And I was like, I was monitoring him. I was just like, okay, you do you, boo. Like, I'm just gonna break up with you. And I did. I broke up with him. It's funny. When I broke up with him, he was just like, no, we could try this again. We could, make this work. And I was just like, no, it's over, dude. And he's like, no, just take a few days to think about it, and I'm like, no, I thought about it for a while. It's over. And he would not let me break up with him. And I was like, what the fuck's your problem? And so I was like, you know what? I hope you have a wonderful rest of your life. We're done. We're over. Okay. Bye. Like I had a fucking like, oh God, like he would just not let me fucking say it, And then so I was just like, and then he was like pestering me about it. Like he was a military guy too, so I couldn't get away from him from the email. And I told him, I was like, first of all, this is very unprofessional. You using a military email to message me about private information. Secondly, let me tell you why I fucking broke up with you. First of all, I couldn't get any type of like reading on you, like meaning like I couldn't even talk to you about things that I'm interested in. So it was like we had nothing in common. And then you started to flirt with, or you start to allow women to flirt with you on your fucking Facebook, even to include your ex. So there's my explanation as to why I broke up with you, or why I stopped giving you some booty, like, and that's it. And I left it at that. Shane hits that you guys are still friends. Oh, with the Virgo. Ugh. Like I said, I don't know how you guys can do it. You guys are way more mature than I am. I don't fucking stay friends with an ex. Oh my god. All right. I'm gonna go to bed. It's already, oh shit. I thought it was gonna be midnight. Now it's like 11 over here. All right, you guys. Thank you guys for being here with me and letting me rant. And if you guys, again, if you guys are feeling like people are trying to force you to do something that you're not willing or wanting to do, you guys have options, okay? If you want to throw energy at them, go ahead. But I was just telling you, I don't feel comfortable with doing that anymore. So I'm not gonna do that. But anyway, thanks for listening. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families, do the right thing for you and your family. If you guys are being, like I said, being forced to do something you're not willing to do, then you have your rights. Use them. You can afford a lawyer, okay? Just telling you can. Don't be afraid that it's gonna cost you God knows what money. Make sure that the lawyer writes in there that whoever you are suing is gonna pay for your legal fees, okay? Mike is still alive. Oh, Mikey? Oh yeah, you guys could go over there and chit chat with him. Night, you guys. We do need to do a live Aquarian Essence. Hell yeah. You're welcome, Denise. Yeah, you guys have a good night. Stay safe too, Blue Flame. Oh, you guys need to subscribe to Blue Flame's YouTube because she has a shit ton of cool insights. Like she predicts shit before it happens. And I highly recommend that you guys go check it out so you guys can be prepared as to what's going on with our future events, especially with this country. And then whoever else has a YouTube, make sure you guys tell me so I can subscribe to your YouTubes, okay? And then if you guys can find me on TikTok. I don't really do much there. I mean, I do, but not really. But like, I think I need to start being like doing some funny shit on there because there's such, oh my God, there's such like crazy judgmental spiritual people on TikTok and it's so fucking annoying. I think I need to just start, I think I just need to start making fun of them. I should just do that, right? All right. Good night, you guys. Love you so much. And I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys on Monday for another live for the energies of the week. Okay. Take care. Love you guys. Bye-bye.